I was really sad, of course, that it wasn't rolling over into another season, and it had come to an end, of course. But at the same time, I felt really wrapped, really honoured that I was part of that. You know, getting the freak and that big crescendo and big ending.
Yeah.
So
would you have stayed on it if the show continued?
Definitely. Because that was the thing. We were coming to the end of my initial contract, and we were starting to talk about it rolling over and me going again. So Brumby would have been there, but unfortunately that wasn't the case.
Fantastic. Now, Coral, the Barnhurst flight. No, I'm not going to talk about that.
It was a good idea.
It was a joke.
It was a good idea.
Absolutely.
Badly realised good idea.
Is there anything you'd like to... I know you've covered a lot of things about prison on our soapboxes. Is there one thing you'd like to add before we cut to the fans for some questions?
Only that, and I think everyone on this panel here today will agree. I turned Matt and the lovely Ken Mulholland down to...
Oh, yeah, you told us to get lost.
I told you to get lost. I said, I've created 8 or 9 shows, and why do I want to bloody talk about Prisoner, which was 40 odd years ago? But after a while, I thought, you know what? It's not a bad legacy to have. It's my legacy. I was there for 500 odd episodes. And if that's to be my legacy, then let me embrace it as my legacy. Not one of us would ever have thought that 40 odd years after that show finished, we would be sitting here discussing it with fans, many of whom were not born when we shot the show. And who know the show better than we remember it. That's the remarkable thing about it. And so I'm sure all of us would want to say thank you for loving Prisoner, and thank you for still supporting it, and thank you for still caring what any of us have to say 40-something years after it finished. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Coral. And it really is amazing to have you. You've flown down from Queensland, and I'm so happy.
I flew down from Queensland, and I also have to tell people who say, "Oh, how old were you when you were doing Prisoner then?" I turn 80 in October, so it was halfway through my life, but it is the best and the worst of my life. It was a truly amazing time. We created something which I don't care what anybody holds up and says, oh, what about this, what about that? Within these walls, forget it, there's nothing like it. We created something for 7 years that had never been seen before on television anywhere, not just in Australia, but anywhere. And everyone, even to a person who walked on and had one line, or a non-speaking extra who nodded in the background, has every right to be proud of this show and grateful for the fact that you still love it.
Thanks so much. All right, I'm running behind, and we'll fit some fan questions in. Who would like to go first?